Good morning, everyone. Welcoming you this morning to a morning session class at Maple Leaf International School July session. I'm your teacher, Fahad sir. Previously, in our physics class, we have had a deal of discussion about motion and how motion can be related to scalar and vector quantity. So last class we discussed about what is a scalar quantity, what is a vector quantity, and a type of scalar quantity relating motion is distance, and distance traveled in unit time is speed. We also discussed that a vector motion will be about displacement. Displacement is the shortest distance between 2 points, and rate of displacement is velocity. That is how far we did, and I guess everyone has a copy of this table from last class that uh, scalar quantities are distance and speed relating motion, and vector quantities are displacement and velocity relating motion. I expect some class questions about any confusion from the previous class. If you have any confusion, please feel free to comment on the section. Okay. Moving on to our class today. Um, in the vector quantity section, I have already discussed about displacement and velocity. Another type of vector quantity that relates to distance or displacement and velocity is called acceleration. And acceleration, it is the rate of change of velocity. It's the rate at which, or it's how the velocity changes with time. It is the rate of change of velocity. It is how the velocity changes with time. It's a symbol. The symbol for this one. The symbol for acceleration is A. And the symbol is A, and its unit is meter per second square. Its unit is meter per second square. So I'll just write a small definition of acceleration. Acceleration, it is the rate of change of velocity. Acceleration is the rate of change of velocity. So if we are discussing about acceleration, because we know what displacement is, we know about speed. More important topic for this chapter will be to know what acceleration is. If I want to give an example, let's say I have a small trolley over here, and the trolley is traveling at a velocity. Let's say it's traveling at a initial velocity u, and as it travels from one point to another, let's say it travels to a further place, or it has a displacement, and the final velocity is v. So the time to accelerate will be t. So from this we can say that the change in velocity is equal to v minus u, and the acceleration will be change in velocity by time. So A equals to V minus U by T. So this is the formula that we're going to use to calculate acceleration. I haven't got any class questions yet. If there is any confusion relating these topic, please feel free to ask the questions. If you can have a copy of this, uh, okay. So next thing that we want to discuss is if a body has acceleration, that means there is increase in velocity. The rate at which the velocity increases is acceleration. So if it is such that the velocity of a body is decreasing, then we say it's deceleration or retardation. So I'll write it over here. If the velocity of a body increases, then it is known as acceleration. And if the velocity of the body increases with time, then it is known as acceleration. If the velocity of a body decreases with time, then the acceleration is negative. Therefore, it is called deceleration or retardation. Therefore, it is called key deceleration or retardation. Okay. Right. I have some attendance over here now. A problem in acceleration. Where do you mean? What do you mean, sir? From where the Salah, I'll start with your question. If a trolley is moving and its velocity is constant, then we say it's traveling at a uniform velocity. If the velocity changes, if the velocity increases, if the velocity decreases, then there is an acceleration. Okay. Coming back to question from coming back to the question from Adib uh, Sharif Rafaida. Rufaida, okay. Rufaida, Adib, and everyone. I'll go through this part once again since you're saying that you have problem in acceleration. In the last class, I have had a how-to discussion about motion and how scalar vector can be related to motion. Relating the motion, we discussed about distance, we discussed about speed. What is speed? It's the distance traveled in unit time. We discussed about displacement, it is the shortest distance between 2 points. And we discussed about velocity, which is the rate of displacement or displacement in unit time. Today, I'm going to discuss about acceleration. Acceleration, what is acceleration? Acceleration is the rate of change of velocity. It tells me how the velocity of a body changes with time. Let's say a trolley is traveling at an initial velocity u, and if this trolley is moving and at one point its velocity is changed, now it has changed in time t, then we will say that the change in velocity is v minus u, and acceleration will be change in velocity by time. So from this, we can write a formula: acceleration a equals to v minus u by t. So acceleration is nothing but it tells me how the velocity of a body changes with time. It is the numerical measurement of how the velocity changes with time. When we are dealing with speed, speed has no acceleration or no further quantity or scalar quantity. There is no, there's none to follow. But in vector quantity, velocity follows a vector quantity. Another vector quantity which is known as acceleration. If I'm clear, I'll go through this example. Just like Salah said, if the body is having a constant speed, if the velocity does not change, what will happen? If the velocity does not change, we say it's traveling at a uniform velocity, we say it's traveling at a constant velocity, but constant speed. Now, if the velocity changes, if the velocity increases, if the velocity decreases with time, then we say there is the acceleration. And to calculate acceleration, we will use this formula: a equals to v minus u by t. V minus u is the change in velocity, t is the time in which the velocity changes. Right. Samin, uh, to symbolize acceleration, we use a. To symbolize velocity, I've already said we can use u or v. The word u represents initial velocity and the word v represents final velocity. So initial final দুইটাকে রিপ্রেজেন্ট করার জন্য একটাকে রিপ্রেজেন্ট করার জন্য আমরা u ইউজ করছি, আরেকটাকে রিপ্রেজেন্ট করার জন্য কি v রিপ্রেজেন্ট করছি। um, Uzair, I don't understand velocity. Uzair, the thing is, velocity আর speed একই টাইপের জিনিস, but velocity হচ্ছে এমন একটা কোয়ান্টিটি যেটা একটা কি স্কেলার কোয়ান্টিটি, a quantity that has direction. যে let's say তুমি হচ্ছে তোমাকে আমি নিয়ে ফেলে দিলাম, or let's say I drop this pen. As it moves down, it has a direction that it is moving down towards earth. যে ফেলে দিচ্ছি, it's moving down towards Earth. So when it's moving, it has a direction towards Earth, and when it's moving, it has a speed as well. So speed along with the direction is called the velocity. But velocity is more precise. It is the displacement by time. It is the rate of displacement. Shortest distance যে টাইমে travel করতেছে, the rate of displacement is known as the velocity. So it is a key vector quantity. So another thing, um, just like Salah saying, if the body is traveling at a constant speed, then we say it's traveling at a uniform velocity, and it does not have any acceleration. If it is such that the speed changes, যে এরকম হলো যে এখানে হচ্ছে স্পিড ছিল 2 মিটার পার সেকেন্ড, এখানে এসে হয়ে গেল 20 মিটার পার সেকেন্ড, এই যে স্পিডটা যে বেড়ে গেল, চেঞ্জ হলো, then we have a key acceleration. আমরা মনে করব যে এটা একটা straight path এ যাচ্ছে, and if the velocity increases, then we say it is the accelerating. এরকম যদি হয় যে velocity বাড়ছে, আমরা straight forward বলবো কি acceleration. If it is such that the velocity is decreasing, যে 10 থেকে 5, 5 থেকে 4, 3, 2, 1, এরকম আস্তে আস্তে velocity কি কমছে. If it is decreasing, then it is called the negative acceleration. কি বলে এটাকে? Negative acceleration, because when it is decreasing, দেখা যাচ্ছে যে acceleration calculate করার যে ভ্যালুটা পাবো, that will be a minus value, or that will be a key negative value. So whenever it's a negative acceleration, whenever the velocity it is decreasing, the value of acceleration is negative or minus, we can also say it's key deceleration or retardation. It can also be said as key deceleration or retardation. Yeah, it's deceleration or retardation. Deceleration or retardation. Right. We will not be discussing Salah, Muhammad Ahmed. We will not be discussing about increasing velocity, because increasing acceleration is not our concern, because ওটা আরেকটা ইয়াতে চলে যাচ্ছে, ফেজে চলে যাচ্ছে. What we want to keep, but we want to keep it simple as if the velocity is increasing, acceleration. If the velocity is decreasing, deceleration. আমার acceleration হোক, deceleration হোক, একটাই ফর্মুলা. যদি velocity plus হয়, acceleration. যদি velocity minus হয়, deceleration. Everyone, please take a screenshot of this section. If you have taken the screenshot of this section, Salah, that's negative minus VE. Negative এটা represent করার জন্য short এ হ্যাঁ, plane traveling এটা displacement কিন্তু. আচ্ছা, I will be going through two sum. The sum করব, and or let's say I'll do two sum, and in this two in the following sums, what I'll do is I'll try to calculate acceleration. Okay, if you have taken the screenshot, I'll just have a quick rub and then I'll start with the sum. Right. In the first sum, a trolley is traveling at 7 meter per second and accelerates to um, velocity of 14 meter per second in 4 seconds. So the question will be number one, find the change in velocity, and number two, find the acceleration. So to find the change in velocity or any kind of sum that we do, first what I want to do is I want to gather all the information required. Right, there is a question, what does it mean of rate of displacement? Rate of displacement means displacement in unit time or displacement by time. So that's going to be velocity. So coming back to the question, so before we do any kind of sum, what I want to do is gather the information. So the given information is initial velocity u is 7 meter per second. Final velocity v is 14 meter per second. Time to accelerate is 4 seconds. So using this given information, change of velocity is v minus u, that is 14 minus 7, that's 7 meter per second. That is the change in velocity. And acceleration A equals to v minus u by t. So v minus u, that's key. 7, time would say 4. Uh, that should be 1.75 meter per second squared. Everyone, please take a quick screenshot of this working. The working shows how do I find acceleration from a given sum. একটা word equation বা একটা sum থাকবে যেখানে কিছু information থাকবে. We have to gather the information and then use it to do the sum. Please take a screenshot of this section. Okay, moving on to the next sum. If I use this same sum for the next one, if I use the same kind of sum, if I just change this number over here. Toy car. Okay, a toy car is traveling at 24 meter per second and decelerates to a velocity of 16 meter per second in 4 seconds. Find the change in velocity and the deceleration. Right, in the second sum, what I have to do is I have to again find the information given. Zara, যদি u14 vo14 হয় তাহলে তো velocity change হচ্ছে না. If there is no change in velocity, acceleration will be কি? Zero. Um, so in this case, the initial velocity is 24 meter per second. Final velocity is 16 meter per second, and the time is 4 seconds. So from this, change in velocity is v minus u, that's 16 minus 24, that should be minus 8 meter per second. And I'll calculate acceleration a equals to v minus u by t, which is minus 8 by 4. Therefore, acceleration is minus 2 meter per second square. If the acceleration is minus 2, then we can say, therefore, deceleration equals to 2 meter per second square. আমার ক্যালকুলেশন করার পরে যদি অ্যাক্সেলারেশন মাইনাস আসে তাহলে আমরা ডিসেলারেশন প্লাস দিয়ে লিখতে পারবো. The thing is, the word deceleration itself minus sign থেকে represent হচ্ছে, retardation itself minus থেকে represent হচ্ছে, যে minus হচ্ছে velocity কমছে. So this is how you do a sum relating deceleration. Right then, everyone, please have a proper screenshot of these sections. Make sure you know how to relate to these sum. And once basically I've completed the chapter now, I'd like you to practice the book questions at home, and I've given a note in the study note section, so that way you can basically revise and make sure you go all the things that we did in the past class and today, so that you can complete these sum. Okay, so see you next class. Thank you. Bye.